All right, this is going to be a quick video on how to make a quizzes to study for the measuring test. You're going to do 10 micrometer questions, 10 dial caliper questions, and 5 measuring tool questions. So I'm going to run you through one of each of those in the demonstration here. Please take into consideration that I am using a PC. You're going to be using your Chromebook, so things might look a little different. When I'm saving to my pictures or my drive, you're going to be saving to your drive. And then my software might look a little different, whereas I might be able to edit it right away. You might have to save it to your drive and then open it up with a picture editing app and then edit and save it in your drive before importing it into quizzes. So that's something to consider. The other thing is I have a Adobe Flash on this computer. I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to use the exact same link I'm using or download I'm using for the micrometer. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you need to use something different, just be flexible. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go out and we're going to gather some images. So we're going to find some images online with some software to capture and then modify, and then we're going to import those into quizzes. So the first thing we need to do is just type in here virtual dial or virtual micrometer. We'll start with the micrometer. Type in virtual micrometer. This one comes up right here. It says thousandths of an inch. If you click on this and you scroll down, you will see quickly that it is not in thousandths of an inch. This one's actually reading it to 10 thousandths of an inch, which is fine. You guys can use this. Make sure whatever you use is reflected in your quizzes though. So if you're going to use the 10 thousandths of an inch one, make sure you're asking to select an answer in 10 thousandths of an inch when we get to that point. So let's say you wanted to do a screenshot of one of these. You could just do control or, excuse me, on my computer it's Windows print screen and it just takes a screenshot. Now, what I'd recommend trying is scrolling down here. There's a download here, and I'm not sure if you're able to download this on your Chromebook, but it's worth a try. It says virtual micrometer in millimeter and inches. If you click on that link, scroll down, this is where you want to be right here. This is the thousandths of an inch. This is what the assessment's going to cover. So if you can get this and download it, that would be ideal. That looks like this. Once it's downloaded, it just comes up like this, okay? Once you have it downloaded, or using the other link that I just showed you, move the thimble to a prescribed measurement. I'm going to do something pretty simple for the first one. Go ahead and set a measurement like that. Like I said before, do a print screen. Okay, now we need to go in and edit this image. So I'm going to go ahead and locate that image on my computer. It happens to be in pictures. For you, you might have to save this on or into your drive immediately and then go back and edit them. All right, so here are some of the screenshots I just have captured. So I'm going to take this, a screenshot 8. I'm going to rename it. I'm going to call it Mike 2 because I have Mike 1 over here. Okay, name it Mike 2. I'm going to open that picture up. I'm going to say open with, and then I'm just going to open it with photos. All right, and then I'm able to crop it right in photos. You guys might need to open it with a different app and crop it. And the reason we're trying to crop it is we want to get this answer out of here, and we're just going to use this enlarged portion for the quiz. So I'm going to click on my crop tool here, and I'm just going to bring this down. Pretty simple. Crop it. And that looks good. I'm going to hit Control S, save it like that, saving a copy for me, and then I'm going to close it. All right, and close this one, and I am done with the, obviously you would need to do 9 more of these. I'm going to move on to the dial caliper. You need to do 10 micrometer, 10 dial caliper, and 5 measuring tools. So I'm going to move on. We're going to go find a dial caliper one. So going back here, right back to Google. I'm going to type in virtual dial caliper. All right, so here's a virtual dial caliper in thousandths of an inch. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to scroll down, and here we are. Okay, so if I click on this and enlarge it, I stop. Now, you might be able to get away with scrolling up or down to get rid of this text. Depends on whether your Chromebook lets you do that or not. Get something right at the end here like that. I'm going to do a print screen. So Windows, print screen. All right, now I'm going to go back to my pictures. Screenshots. This is the most recent one, number 9. I'm going to rename it. File management's really important so you don't get things confused. So I'm going to rename this one. I'm going to call it Dial 1. I'm going to open Dial 1 and I'm going to edit it with photos. And once again, I'm just going to crop this down to get rid of the text that's the answer. And maybe just focus in on this portion. This is all I really need, okay? I'm going to hit Control S. It's going to save me a copy. I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm also going to close my pictures here. And then I'm going to head back to Google. Now for measuring tools, you can choose any of the measuring tools we've covered are going to be on the test. So it might be a feeler gauge, it might be telescoping gauges, it might be small hole gauge, it might be a digital micrometer, it might be a torque wrench. So you can choose from any one of those. You have to do 5 measuring tools. So I'm simply going to go to Images. And I'm going to choose telescoping gauge. I'm going to click on Google Images here, and I'm going to just type in telescoping gauge. Type in telescoping gauge. Here comes up a pretty good picture here. I'm going to click on Tools. I'm going to choose by size. I want to have a large, so I have good resolution and quality. I'm going to go ahead and choose this one here. I'm going to right click on it. Now, once again, I'm going to save this to my pictures. You guys might have to save this to your drive, so that might be a little different. So I'm going to go Save Image As, and then it's going to save into my pictures. I'm going to put it right on my desktop. I'm just going to call it TeleGauge. Save. All right, so here I have all of my my images that I need. Want to make one question for the micrometer, one question for the dial caliper, and one question for tool identification. I'm going to remind you again, you're going to do 10 for the micrometer, 10 for the dial, and then 5 for the tool ID. So I have all those things taken care of, and you might want to tackle it like that, where you go out and you get all your images and then you do the quizzes part. That might be a good way to approach it. But now I'm going to go to Google here. I'm going to type in quizzes. All right, and it brings me up to this screen here, and you can just select create a free account and it will get you right in. I already have an account, so I'm just going to click login, and then I'm going to start making my questions. So when I log in, I'm going to say create a new quiz. I'm going to say, I'm going to call this measuring study guide. It's going to ask you a subject. I'm just going to click other, select other here, and then I'm going to start creating my question. So I'm going to say create new question. All right, so you have some options here on time. I just leave it at 30 seconds. You should be able to read these things pretty quickly. I'm just going to say identify the measurement in the image, and then I'm going to go ahead and select my image. So I'm going to click here, drag and drop, or you can use the link if you want. I'm going to do mic 2, and that's the one we'll start out with. So here's mic 2 right here, and then I'm going to just type in my answers here. So we can see that this is actually 0, because we have nothing showing up here on the scale. So we're at 0 point. All right, and then we can go here and we're past this first line. Remember, think about it like money. Once you pass that first line, it's quarter. Okay, so we're past 0. All right, and then we're past a quarter, so that's 25. And then we go to the thimble here and we're at 35, so 0.35. That's the correct answer. And I'll throw some other ones in here, like 0.35. 0, and then we'll throw one in here, 0.25. 0.0.050. And then I'm going to select the correct answer up here, and then I'm going to click save. All right, so that's what that question is going to look like. Now I'm going to go to create another new question. I'm going to say type in select the measurement in the image. Oops. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and load my dial caliper. Click on that. I'm going to load my dial caliper one up here, so it's dial 2. All right, I'm going to look at that dial caliper. Now, the nice thing is when you're taking the quizzes, you can zoom in on it. It's kind of hard to see. So when you're going and editing those pictures, when you pull them off the internet, you might want to keep on paper, keep a list of what the actual answer was if you can't read this from here. I can see here we're at 0 because we're at 0 right there on the gauge, 0. And then we're past the 1.1. And then we just go to the dial at that time to read the last two numbers, and it looks like we're at 9.6. Okay, 0.196. Now, if you don't want to have that answer in the same place each time, so then you can move it around. So I might go 1.960. I might put 0.190. And then we look like we're really close to 2, so maybe throw something in there that looks like we're at 2, so 0.200. Okay, and then you select the right one, click save. Here we have 2 questions. Now, when we actually take the quiz, the nice thing is you can click on this and it does enlarge. So we need to go back here and edit this one because I couldn't quite see that. It looks like we're at 9.7 actually there. So I'm going to go ahead and edit that quick. And then click save. And then we simply do the same thing for the measuring tools again. So just type in here, identify tool in the image. And we click on media. And we're going to go ahead and upload that tool. That one's saved to my desktop, so I'm going to find it in here. It's tele gauge, and then I might come up with some other answers here like small hole gauge, and we'll have another one, torque wrench, and we'll go with feeler gauge, and then the last one will be the telescoping gauge. And then we want to select the correct answer, and we'll click save, and there we have it. So what you're going to do, once again, is you're going to collect 10 micrometers, and then 10 dial calipers, and then 5 of the tools, and you're going to put them into a quizzes, and then you're going to share the link with me. If you have any questions, I think this is pretty straightforward. It's a little bit of a lengthy video, but it will walk you through exactly what you need to do to get this study guide done.